Natural Terrain Road Courses, and once again back on the oval. Welcome, folks, to the Road to Indy presented by Cooper Tires and the Indy Pro 2000 Championship, also presented by Cooper Tires, as we are here at Worldwide Technology Raceway, just outside of St. Louis, Missouri, in Madison, Illinois, just on the other side of the Mississippi River, as we get set to go for this event brought to you by VP Fuels. This is going to be a great one, folks. My name is Rob Howden. Thank you so much for tuning in for what will be a short intro here, because we've kind of tightened things up here on the schedule. Of course, the NTT IndyCar Series and the Bommarito 500 coming later on this afternoon. But just as we were having our drivers meeting for the Indy Pro competitors and kind of getting ready to roll, this facility got dumped on. A ton of rain hitting here. Right now, of course, track drying efforts underway to get this track ready to go for a 2:15 start. That was the initial start. We're thinking maybe 2:10 potentially. Now for a green flag, is IndyCar doing what they can to kind of push together the schedule, moving Indy Lights up a little bit, because the forecast does appear to have some precipitation coming in later on here in the afternoon. For us, we're looking forward to what should be a tremendous race. This track is a tough one to pass on, as we know. The highest track speed oval that we run for Indy Pro 2000, about 150 mile an hour top speed when they work their way down the back straightaway and into turn number 3 and 4. That's going to be the big passing opportunity. 3 usually the best place, because turn 1 and 2 tighter than 3 and 4. Drivers will struggle sometimes coming through 1 and 2. You can take different lines. That's what sets up the draft heading down all the way into turn 3. I chatted briefly with Braden Eves earlier on here before the show. Oliver Askew here, one of our former champions, here chatting it up and talking about the fact that this Indy Pro 2000 car does punch a big hole in the air, so draft could play a big role. Let's talk a bit about the driver, though, who was able to put it on the pole here today. Salvador de Alba, the Mexican for Jay Howard Driver Development. I've been talking about him all season as one of the most improved drivers from the start of the year in St. Petersburg to where we are right now and where we go in 2 weeks. Portland International Raceway. He just got really comfortable with his Tatuus IP22, the team at Jay Howard. We've seen him kind of work his way up the order. He's not been back in 9th and 10th. We've been seeing him battling in the top 10, and a tremendous run here in qualifying, only his second time on the oval. He was the quickest in Thursday test, both sessions of the test. Braden Eves fastest this morning in a track that was pretty similar to Thursday, but the air was cooler. Engines liked it a little more, so that's where the speed came from. But De Alba stepped it up in qualifying, got the job done, put 2 laps in that single car 2-lap qualifying run. His first career pole position. The Mexican will start on the inside of the front row. Drivers we're watching for, of course, number 1, Louis Foster. He's really the focus here right now. De Alba's going to try to get that first win. Josh Green, Reese Gold, those guys are going to be in the fight for the win. Right now, though, in terms of championship and the scholarship that will send one driver to Indy Lights next year with a scholarship worth over $600,000, that again is Louis Foster. He's got a position right now. He could potentially leave here with the championship. If he gets a point lead of 100 or more, no one can catch him with only 99 points on offer when we get to Portland. We're about set to go here with the VP Racing Fuels Oval Challenge of St. Louis. We'll have a quick break. When we get back, we'll go driver introductions, and of course, we'll have the command to fire. It's time to go racing here at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
It's your Uncle Cooper. Sure, once in a blue moon, you might need your tires for hauling a horse in a hailstorm. But most days, you're gonna need your tires for tougher things, like teaching your sister's kid how to parallel park. Thankfully, these Cooper Enduramaxes aren't just tough, they're everyday tough. Okay, there's a lot of improvement. Go with the Coopers. Cooper.
Karting and motorsport enthusiasts, Lucas Oil School of Racing is America's #1 Formula Car race school. Enjoy modern paddle shifters, pit speed limiter, and onboard video along with integrated data systems. Get started today with our 2-day basic or advanced course. Lucas Oil School of Racing is the official school of the Road to Indy. We can also qualify you for your SCCA license. Get started today by visiting us at www.lucasraceschool.com.
It's your Uncle Cooper. Your SUV is a multi-purpose tool, like a corkscrew fish scaler. And that means your tires should be multi-purpose too. Like these Cooper rugged Treks. They're tough, but also run smooth as butter. And with dual sidewalls, it's like having a multi-tool that can look like a completely different multi-tool. Don't take that idea, by the way. I'm gonna patent it. Go with the Coopers. Cooper!
With over 40 years in business, High Tide Boat Lifts is committed to elevating your craft. Whether you own a personal watercraft or a large yacht, we can design and create the perfect lift for your needs. At High Tide Boat Lifts, we understand that you've worked hard to get to a successful place in life. We'll ensure you have a hassle-free experience, maximizing the time you spend on your boat with family and friends, and supporting your dreams out on the open water.
It's your Uncle Cooper. If you and your truck are constantly tackling the regular duties of the day, go with a tire that can handle them all. Oh, man. I stepped in it. Go with the Coopers.
After this weekend in Toronto, we have just 6 weeks until we head to the Pacific Northwest and the Portland International Raceway for the triple header finale on Labor Day weekend. A championship dialing in for USF 2000 Miles Rowe versus Michael D'Orlando. We had a chance to catch up with both drivers here in TO. Miles, of course, coming into your second year in the program, you're thinking championship. You're thinking about the scholarship. The championship battle has kind of formed throughout the year as we head to Portland. What are your thoughts on going in? Point lead, coming into Toronto. You're in a pretty good spot right now.
Yeah, we're definitely in a good spot. You know, it's good to be first going into the last two events. And it's, you know, same mindset as all. Just picking the right choices, really. You know, understanding what's a choice that could hurt your season, what's a choice that could help it. You really just want to be as clear-headed as possible so you could just, you know, do what we've been doing all year.
I don't feel like there's any pressure. I feel like this is my racing career. Obviously, I know I have a shot at winning the championship, and Miles is really good, but I'd have to work for it. And yeah, there's a little bit of a pressure, but I enjoy doing it.
It's cool because, you know, we used to race go-karts together, so it's nice to be here, you know, pursuing our IndyCar dreams and in a championship, you know, fight. The pressure is there, but I like to think it doesn't affect me, and I just, you know, try to keep my head as clear as possible and just focus forward.
Getting the championship would really be a career and confidence booster.
Last year, you know, it was tough, you know, starting out, new team, new driver, been out of the car for 4 to 5 years, but it was just a development year. I mean, I'm sure I could say, you know, I could do this last year, but, you know, last year already happened, and everything that happened was just a learning lesson to help me get to where I am right now.
Obviously, take it one race at a time with the championship still in mind. There's been a couple of times this season that, like, you get a little bit too antsy and you try to get that extra spot, and it doesn't end up working out in your favor. But you always have to have that championship in the back of your mind. But that doesn't mean that you don't go for an opportunity that arises. You got to make the most of every opportunity, every lap, every corner, and every race. So when we go into Portland with a triple header there, obviously I'm going to be super focused on the Portland and just to get through the weekend with as many points as possible, the best position that I could possibly get out of without making too many risky maneuvers. At the way it seems right now, hopefully I can have the lead.
Well, we're always looking forward to these races on the road to any of these championship battles is going down to the final race. That third race at Portland, we could have ourselves a fight to see who wins the scholarship this year in USF 2000 and see which driver takes that money to Indy Pro 2000 in 2023. Driving beside me here, Josh Green from Turn 3 Motorsport, jumping from USF 2000 into Indy Pro this year. And Josh, not really a rookie, kind of a rookie, but man, out of the gate you win your first race in St. Petersburg. What's the transition like for you? How was it your first half of the season?
I think this Indy Pro 2000 is a much more suitable car for a lot of drivers. You know, with the aero and the bigger tire, it's almost more forgiving in a way than the USF, and it gives a lot more feedback, so it's easier to give better feedback to the engineers and build a better car. That being said, that window is a lot smaller, so it is a lot harder to get that perfect car every weekend, which I think some teams nail, and that's why you see sort of cars move around in the top 6, but it is always that top 6 very firmly there. In the championship, you know, you see those top 6 ahead of everyone, and I think the talent level is just insane. I'm learning so much this year racing against drivers, you know, the caliber of Reese and Anam and Louis and stuff like that, who have had, you know, European success and success over here. So it's a huge opportunity for me to be able to race against these guys who are so talented and, you know, be able to show what I'm worth against them.
When you win the first race of the year, did it change things in a big way, or were you able to kind of hold back and go, man, all right, I got to stay focused still?
I think I kind of hate that word expectations. It can hurt you a lot, expectations. So I didn't come into it much expectation. I just knew I was going to do everything I could to be up front. You know, and I'm very confident in who I am as a driver, so I knew that I could be up front. And so when we got that first pole, you know, it wasn't like I came across the line and I was like, whoa, that's pole. Like I came across the line and I finished that lap and I was like, that's the lap for pole. Like I finished the lap and I was like, that is P1, 100%. So I was confident in my driving that I knew that I could get the job done. It was just about everything coming together. I have a lot bigger of a book behind me, sort of like a bigger toolbox when it comes to what I can use in the car to help when maybe the car is going the wrong way or to save tires by the end of a race and stuff like that. But I don't think the mindset's changed a ton. I've just learned how to be a lot more calm and composed, I guess, when things start going the wrong direction.
I'll tell you this, folks, in USF 2000, we've seen the second-year drivers, the sophomores, really stepping up. Only one rookie in the top 10. Much different here at Indy Pro 2000. The rookies have dialed things up. Josh Green already a winner, as we said. Don't be surprised to see him in victory lane one more time or even more before the end of 2022. Not surprisingly, with the drivers we have in the Road to Indy from 14 to maybe 25, 26 years of age, a number of them are juggling school along with their racing commitments. Yuban Sundaramurthy in the University of Wisconsin computer science major. That can't be easy. You're focused, especially in the off season, through January to March before we start the year off. You're going testing, you're in school. How are you able to do that? That's got to be tough.
Yeah, I mean, it's gotten a lot easier in recent years. It was a lot harder in high school because you would miss so many more classes if you miss one day. Especially with COVID now, everything's turned in online, so it makes everything easy. Just make sure I get the lectures, I get the lecture notes from friends in school, and everything works out.
What is it about this race car that makes it tough to drive? I know I always say it's more of everything, right? More downforce, more horsepower, more braking, more tire. For you, what was it? What was the hurdle that you had to deal with to find where you are now?
Yeah, it's just knowing where the limit of the car is. Especially the first couple sessions, I would drive it to the limit of the USF car, and it's nothing really with this thing. You can push it so much more. And you just got to know where that limit is and finding the limit and trusting the car to that spot. I've learned a lot about these cars and a lot more that I didn't know in the past. And through the classes that I'm taking, everything kind of works together and everything helps.
Driver development is what we're talking about here in the Road to Indy. Yuban Sundaramurthy is a perfect example. Came in to USF 2000, a raw rookie at F1600, ended up being a race winner before moving to Indy Pro. You know he's going to get the victory lane in Indy Pro as well. He's got a feel for that car. Could be one of the drivers to watch in the second half of 2022.
It's your Uncle Cooper. Sure, once in a blue moon, you might need your tires for hauling a horse in a hailstorm. But most days, you're gonna need your tires for tougher things, like teaching your sister's kid how to parallel park. Thankfully, these Cooper and Duramaxes aren't just tough, they're everyday tough. Okay, there's a lot of improvement. Go with the Coopers. Cooper.
karting and motorsport enthusiasts. Lucas Oil School of Racing is America's #1 Formula Car race school. Enjoy modern paddle shifters, pit speed limiter, and onboard video along with integrated data systems. Get started today with our 2-day basic or advanced course. Lucas Oil School of Racing is the official school of the Road to Indy. We can also qualify you for your SCCA license. Get started today by visiting us at www.lucasraceschool.com.
It's your Uncle Cooper. Your SUV is a multi-purpose tool, like a corkscrew fish scaler. And that means your tires should be multi-purpose too. Like these Cooper rugged Treks. They're tough, but also run smooth as butter. And with dual sidewalls, it's like having a multi-tool that can look like a completely different multi-tool. Don't take that idea, by the way. I'm gonna patent it. Go with the Coopers. Cooper!
With over 40 years in business, High Tide Boat Lifts is committed to elevating your craft. Whether you own a personal watercraft or a large yacht, we can design and create the perfect lift for your needs. At High Tide Boat Lifts, we understand that you've worked hard to get to a successful place in life. We'll ensure you have a hassle-free experience, maximizing the time you spend on your boat with family and friends, and supporting your dreams out on the open water.
Great things about the Road to Indies, of course, the champions getting an opportunity to get the scholarship to move on to the next level. Standing by here with Kiko Porto, last year's Cooper Tires USF 2000 champion, gets a scholarship with D-Force Racing, will run this year in Indy Pro 2000. First, let's ask you about the scholarship. Obviously, to win the championship last year was so big. How did it change your off-season?
For sure the Road to Indy gave me an opportunity to continue this job. So we did very well last year, and it was a pleasure and opportunity to stay here in the Road to Indy program. I'm super happy. Right now in Indy Pro, what a beast. This car is awesome, and I'm super happy to be here in St. Pete and continue this program.
Again, you're trying to continue the career, right, on the Road to Indy as you normally would. Let's talk about this race car. Everybody always asks, what's the difference between the USF 2000 car and the Indy Pro? How would you describe how much more race car this is?
USF, you need to use more the braking and really stop more the car. This one, you can use more the downforce grip. You can like roll them a lot of speed on the corners. Like turn 8 and 9 here, the smaller corners is just awesome how much you can use the speed during the corner. So like this car is awesome. The braking is better too, but all the aero grip helped the car a lot, and it's like awesome. I want a lot to go to race to see what I feel.
We've obviously seen a lot of the USF 2000 champions in the past come in and be really strong as a rookie. Kyle Kirkwood, Christian Rasmussen. What do you feel your chances are this year to go after the title here in Indy Pro?
Feels good. Me and the team is working so hard to this, more than last year to be honest. But it's still the start of the season. I prefer to go step by step, race for race. I don't want to try to see the future. So let's go for the first race and then scoring some points during all the season.
Last but not least, of course, one of the constants for you is D-Force Racing, right? You were with them last year, you're with them again this year. How important is it for you to stay with this family team?
Like my relationship is so good here. I'm start my career in open wheels car with D-Force, so I learned a lot. The guys know a lot from me, and we have a really good relationship, and this helps, especially in this situation. Like we have just one practice and then qualifying. So this relationship about me and the team is so important, and also have a good teammates. Nolan's an awesome guy, so this relationship is like very important during all the season.
Obviously a big year last year for Kiko Porto, winning the championship. He stays with D-Force Racing here for 2022. If you want to put your money on one driver here this year, it might be Kiko.
It's your Uncle Cooper. Sure, once in a blue moon, you might need your tires for hauling a horse in a hailstorm. But most days, you're gonna need your tires for tougher things, like teaching your sister's kid how to parallel park. Thankfully, these Cooper Enduro Maxes aren't just tough, they're everyday tough. Okay, there's a lot of improvement. Go with the Coopers. Cooper!
Karting and motorsport enthusiasts, Lucas Oil School of Racing is America's #1 Formula Car race school. Enjoy modern paddle shifters, pit speed limiter, and onboard video along with integrated data systems. Get started today with our 2-day basic or advanced course. Lucas Oil School of Racing is the official school of the Road to Indy. We can also qualify you for your SCCA license. Get started today by visiting us at www.lucasraceschool.com.
It's your Uncle Cooper. Your SUV is a multi-purpose tool, like a corkscrew fish scaler. And that means your tires should be multi-purpose too. Like these Cooper rugged Treks. They're tough, but also run smooth as butter. And with dual sidewalls, it's like having a multi-tool that can look like a completely different multi-tool. Don't take that idea, by the way. I'm gonna patent it. Go with the Coopers. Cooper!
With over 40 years in business, High Tide Boat Lifts is committed to elevating your craft. Whether you own a personal watercraft or a large yacht, we can design and create the perfect lift for your needs. At High Tide Boat Lifts, we understand that you've worked hard to get to a successful place in life. We'll ensure you have a hassle-free experience, maximizing the time you spend on your boat with family and friends, and supporting your dreams out on the open water.
It's your Uncle Cooper. If you and your truck are constantly tackling the regular duties of the day, go with a tire that can handle them all. Oh, man. I stepped in it. Go with the Coopers.
Gentlemen, on trackside, you can see that the drivers in the Indy Pro 2000 presented by Cooper Tires category have worked their way out onto the pit lane as we get set to get things underway with the VP Racing Fuels Oval Challenge of St. Louis. My name is Rob Howden, back again here on Road to Indy TV. Those of you tuning in at home on your mobile device or potentially on YouTube, we appreciate that and look forward to presenting you with a pretty solid race here. It's going to be a fun one at this particular track. It is always exciting when we get to Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway, a very fast racetrack, two very unique corners at each end of the facility. and it should be interesting once we get to go racing. 15 drivers going to tackle this track here today, and let's have a look at the grid right now as we get set to go. Starting at the tail of the field after some issues in qualifying, he'll be in the number 18 machine, Yuvan Sunaworthy. Starting at the tail of the field in 14th spot for Pabst Racing, his teammate Jordan Missig had an issue, got into the wall in qualifying. He will not make the start. So the inside of row number 7, the young lady out of California, the number 93 in the C4 Smart Energy Drink machine. It's Lindsay Brewer for Exclusive Autosport. Brewer in that number 93. Her debut on an oval here this weekend. Set a good baseline yesterday. She'll tackle her first wheel-to-wheel action when we go green flag racing in just a couple of minutes' time. Moving now to row number 6 on the outside. Kiko Porto, last year's USF 2000 champion in the number 1. Will start in the 12th position for D-Force Racing, the Brazilian starting 12th. And on the inside, starting 11th, his debut as well. A year and a half of USF 2000 experience under the belt of Trey Burke out of Arvin, Texas, driving the number 2 for Turn 3 Motorsport in replacement for Jonathan Brown, who's back home taking his finals of exams in Ireland. Moving forward now into the top 10, Jack William Miller in the Miller Vinatieri Motorsports red and white number 40 machine, a technical alliance with Exclusive Autosport. He is on the outside of row number 5, a P10 starting spot for the driver out of Indiana. And on the inside, in that number 7 machine from Atherton, California, another one of our USF 2000 drivers jumping up forward to get things underway. Bajoy Garg in the number 10 for D-Force Ratings starting in 9th. Row 4 will have the Aussie making his debut, a GB3 driver, as well running in Spanish F4. Jay Howard Driver Development bringing him in here to run both here at Worldwide Technology Raceway and in Portland in 2 weeks. Marcos Flack, the 16-year-old in the number 5, starting in the 8th position. Inside of that row, from London, England, born in Pakistan, it is Anam Ahmed for Juncos Hollinger Racing in the number 47. He'll start in the 7th spot. Row number 3 will have Braden Eves on the outside, last year's winner for Jay Howard Driver Development this year. Won last year with Exclusive. Eves ready to go at it here in this one. He'll start on the outside of row number 3 alongside Josh Green at Mount Kisco, New York, the rookie for Turn 3 Motorsport, starting in the 3rd spot. Moving now to row number 2 on the outside, Nolan Siegel at Palo Alto, California, comes in here sitting 3rd spot in points, needs a race win to keep himself in the fight. Siegel for D-Force Racing in the number 8, starting 4th. And on the inside, Louis Foster, your point leader right now, a commanding point lead, which is 4 races to go. Foster for Exclusive Autosport out of England has the number 90 positioned on the grid in P3. 15 drivers in the field, 2 on the front row. Off pole, the number 55 from Juncos Hollinger Racing out of Miami, Florida. It's Reese Golden, the number 55. And the driver who starts now on the pole position, his first pole on a tremendous run for him to be able to put himself on the front of the grid. Going here from Mexico, Salvador De Alba for Jay Howard Driver Development in that number 6 machine starting on the pole. De Alba and Gold on row 1. Foster and Siegel on row 2. Green, Eves, row 3. Ahmed and Flack on row 4. Let's send it down as we get things underway, folks. The command to start engines. Exciting things coming from VP Racing Fuels. They've got some gas stations coming to the Worldwide Technology area in 2023. Look out for the VP logo on your local street. But it's time to fire things up. Joining us down on pit lane, the regional manager of branded retail sales for VP Racing Fuels, Brian Noonan, alongside his guests Carter and Dan Dunstan. Time to give the command.
On behalf of everyone at VP Racing Fuels, drivers, start your engines!
And there you have it. Engines firing, 250 horsepower behind all these drivers. And as I said, VP Racing Fuels, one of our valued partners as part of the Road to Indy. We use their fuel, lubricants. We have Stay Frosty additive we put into our cooling systems as well. VP, a big part of the Road to Indy and Anderson Promotions family. And exciting news that VP Racing Fuels, VP Fuels, is going to be coming to a street near you one day. The local gas stations coming in this region here. So that'll be exciting to see. Great to see the VP brand, a brand synonymous with motorsports, synonymous with speed and quality, coming to the everyday driver. Love to see it. Drivers rolling off pit lane. It is almost time to go racing here right now. And again, Salvador De Alba, really strong in Thursday practice as well. Top both sessions. His teammate Braden Eves quickest earlier today in practice in what was a cooler day. As I mentioned in the pre-race show, we got dumped with a bunch of rain right before our drivers' meeting. at about 1 o'clock. So this track was soaked for a time. Great job by the track facility to get it dried up. The sun baking on this asphalt as well. It's almost time to go racing here again for Indy Pro 2000, a 55-lapper around this super quick 1.25-mile circuit. And such a great racetrack as well. Different corners, tighter in turn number 1 and 2, but with a little bit more banking, less banking and wider over in turn number 3 and 4. So 2 unique corners for these drivers to set things up. Drivers will dial things in as they work their way now down through 2 and 3. Here they come out of turn number 4 now to get things rolling again. Couple of laps here to get some heat built into these Cooper tires. Salvador de Alba starting on pole. Reese Gold in second. Louis Foster in third. Nolan Siegel fourth. Josh Green alongside Braden Eves on road number 3. Anam Ahmed and Marcos Flack on row 4 for Marcos. Just 16 years of age. Never raced on an oval before. Comes to this one, the quickest one we have on the schedule. And has done well so far. I know talking to Jay Howard, his team owner, just get through the opening couple of laps, settle into position. This is all about experience. For so many drivers coming in here for the first time in Indy Pro, this race all about getting experience. Get yourself to the checkered flag, roll that car back onto the trailer, and make sure that you're able to go to Portland with a car that's ready to go. We are 2x2, 14 drivers on the second rung of the road to Indy. Louis Foster, who starts on the inside of row 2, trying to get the points he needs to secure a scholarship worth over $600,000 to go Indy Lights racing next year. Pace car is set on off. Salvador de Alba will start him for the first time out of 4. Time to go racing. Aaron Likens holding on, and we are green, green, green. Racing down into turn number 1. 3 wide, a little bit further back. Anam Ahmed down to the bottom of the racetrack. Got to be smart on the opening circuit. They'll go 2 wide, 3 and 4 back there. Top line will hold. And remember, these tires are going to be the best they are going to be for the first couple of laps. The tire degradation will play throughout the race. But Salvador de Alba out to an early lead. Good run for him to get on a pole position and get through 1 and 2. Clean run so far there as he works his way out of the corner. 2 wide, further pack as well as they come again down the front straightaway. Good side-by-side battle. Josh Green and Louis Foster side-by-side coming down. 4 wide, potentially into 1. You can talk to these drivers as much as you want in the drivers' meeting and say, hey, listen, guys, you don't need to scrap that hard, but they're probably going to do it anyways. You put the visor down. Every one of these guys is trying to find a move forward. And I say guys, I should say guys and girls, because as we said, we've got Lindsay Brewer here for her first ever oval race. She had some really good runs both at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, at Road America, and in the streets of Toronto. So she's had a good kind of taste of what's going on here in Indy Pro. Look forward to seeing her back for a full season next year. Again, C4 Smart Energy on the side of that car. Louis Foster, I believe, able to hold on to the spot on Josh Green. That's the fight there. You see a couple drivers kind of lining up. Jack William Miller making a move to the inside here as well. He's trying to get by Marcos Flack. So more racing, I think, probably 7th, 8th, and 9th on back. You see them all lined up there. Finally getting into single file a little bit. The opening couple laps always pretty hectic here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Everybody using that draft as much as possible. See the side-by-side action. Oh, Josh Green tossed it to the bottom of the racetrack on Louis Foster, and that thing was all sorts of sideways. A big handful trying to run it down to the bottom of the racetrack there. The drivers are right off the throttle coming into that corner to roll that center and then roll back on the throttle. You can't get too low coming out of turn number 2 either, because when you do that, you find yourself in trouble. You don't want to get into the bottom there, get yourself up on the curbing on the inside of turn number 2. When you do that, it'll upset the car. It'll go higher up into the corner. Again, the biggest fight we're seeing right now is 2nd and 3rd. That is between Green and Foster. Salvador de Alba with the lead right now, almost a full second actually, as they work their way into 1 and 2. 8 tenths in total. Nolan Siegel slotting into the 2nd spot. Josh Green by Foster up into 3rd. 4th Foster, 5th Gold, 6th is Ahmed, 7th is Flack, 8th Sooner Amurthy as he started to tail the field. Yuvin's already got 6 drivers. He's worked his way up from 14th to 8th. So a strong run there for Sooner Amurthy. Eves back into 9th position, so the start didn't play well for Braden Eves. He gets back by Sooner Amurthy. So that's the fight there, diving into turn number 1. Then all by himself is Bijoy Garg in 10th, 11th Miller, 12th Porto, 13th Berg, 14th Brewer. 55 lapper, 5 in the can. Salvador de Alba won the race at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on the road course, but finished second on the racetrack. Technical disqualification for the race winner moved him to P1, so he hasn't had that victory where you actually score the win, you drive into pit lane, you're the guy that stands on top of the podium. That's what Salvador de Alba is looking for. And it would be fantastic for Mexican racers here as well. We've seen Mexican drivers do well here at Worldwide Technology Raceway in past years. One of them, of course, being Moises de Oliveira running for D-Force Racing. He had a good run here, a potential podium. Was running in the top 3 for D-Force Racing. Had a bit of an issue and spun off in turn 3 and 4. But we've had some great Mexican drivers in the series. Right now, Salvador de Alba flying that Mexican flag out front. Very impressive driver. It's been a great second half of the season. Oh, there's a big sideways move there. Siegel got all side to sideways coming. A lot of entry oversteer. Man, he had to pick that one up. That was close for Siegel. And the limited tools for the drivers within the car, there's only so much they can do in terms of getting the car the way they want. Brake bias, of course, being one of them. That car did not look great for Siegel coming through turn number 1 and 2. I'm sure that'll be a little nervous coming down here for the second time. De Alba's lead now 1.6 seconds, and kudos to Jay Howard and his engineering staff over there, Bryn Nuttall at Jay Howard Driver Development, because they have designed a solid setup for this racetrack. De Alba runs P1. Eves and Flack right now a little further back in 7th and 8th, but Braden Eves has been quick throughout the weekend as well. We're a long way from being done in this one with just 8 laps down. Jordan Missig, as we mentioned, not able to get that car repaired after backing it into the safer barrier on the exit of turn number 3 up into turn 4. Pretty hard impact on that car in qualifying, and with just an hour and a bit before we pushed the cars out onto the pit lane, the Pabst Racing crew, knowing that they just weren't going to be able to get that done, so parked the car Missig. He'll look forward to capping off the season at Portland International Raceway in just a couple of weeks' time. Season finale for both USF 2000 and Indy Pro, or Indy Lights Series, the top rung of the road to Indy, of course, still with more work to do down to WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca for the finale. Look at the gap between first and second and third. 2 leaders punching things out right now, De Alba and Siegel. Salvador de Alba comes into the weekend here, working his way back up in the points. Currently sits in 8th spot. Did not have a good run in Toronto with a couple of 14th place finishes, but Road America Mid-Ohio, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 5th. 4 straight top 5s. Again, had the issues and not really of his own doing in Toronto, and gave him a couple of really rough finishes. But currently sitting 8th in points with an opportunity, really, with a good weekend here, to potentially jump up into 5th or 6th. Maybe 6th position, 7th for sure. Points and a half for Oval Racing, 45 points for a win. He's already got the 1 bonus point for qualifying on the pole. So De Alba looking for good points here. And again, the point leader on the track, Louis Foster, currently running in the 4th position. Good point. Again, he's just trying to get to a certain place. He's up already, coming in at 63 points. The minute he's 99 points ahead going into Portland, he'd have this thing handled. Not where he needs to be right now. 4th would put him at 344 points. Reese Gold currently running in the 5th spot. Where's that put Reese? He would be at 278, so not that 99 that he needs, but still with a strangle hold on the potential chance to win a title. 12 laps down, working lap 13. Rob Howden here on Road D&D TV. Great to have you tuning in to the penultimate race weekend of this year's Indy Pro 2000 Championship. It's been a great one so far. We've seen a bunch of different winners on the season. 6 wins for Louis Foster, 2 for Nolan Siegel, 2 for Reese Golden, a win each for Josh Green and Salvador de Alba. And also, if you look at that, that's the teams as well. The team wins this year. So if you're a young driver, and let's say you're coming up through USF Juniors or USF 2000, you're looking forward in your future where you want to get to, or maybe you're running F4 over the US or over in Europe. You're running GB3, Euro Formula Open, and you're seeing what Louis Foster's doing. You're seeing the opportunities that potentially he has to go eventually into IndyCar racing, because Louis Foster's one of the stars of this paddock right now. You know that the IndyCar team managers are keeping an eye on Foster. There's an opportunity for him to get to IndyCar in a couple of years. If you're over in Europe and you're saying, okay, what team do I race with? Obviously, Exclusive Autosport has 6 wins with Louis Foster, but Nolan Siegel running for D-Force Racing has 2. Reese Gold for Juncos Racing has 2. Josh Green for Turn 3 Motorsports has 1, and Jay Howard has 1 with Salvador de Alba, and maybe another one here today. 5 different teams have scored race wins here in Indy Pro 2000, and I think that speaks, number one, volumes to the quality of the team and the teams that we have within our paddock. Just talented teams, great people, but also the package itself. Elite Engines providing our power plants for our drivers, always equally prepared. Everybody with the same power plant, the Spectatus chassis, the IP22, everybody on the same equipment, everybody on the same Cooper tires. It really comes down to the teams and the drivers to be the differentiator, right? And with the teams, so many of them winning at different places in the schedule, doesn't matter where you go, if you put it all together, you're going to get a chance to win. De Alba still leading, Siegel second, Green third. There they are coming out of the back straightaway perfectly. There's Green in third spot. There's fourth place running Louis Foster. He's got a nice little lead over Reese Gold, his closest driver in the championship chase. So 1.6 seconds between Foster and Gold. Foster can run exactly where he is right now because that's what he needs to. He needs to be in front right now of Reese Gold. Being in front of Nolan Siegel would be good as well. Siegel's going to claw a couple of points back here, but even running in second place as he is right now, that would put him at 282 points. Foster at 344. So you're looking at 62 points separating first and second in the points. So again, a great opportunity for Louis Foster to pad that championship cushion heading to Portland. Fast lap so far laid down by Braden Eves, 138.436 miles per hour, and that was just a couple of laps ago. De Alba just reset that at 139.059, but both of those Jay Howard driver development cars are fast. Eves now right up there trying to close up on the 5th place running Reese Gold. So have a look a little further back here. Yeah, he's already by. There it is. Right there coming to the screen. That is Braden Eves by Reese Gold. So move Braden Eves now up into the 5th spot. And that's going to give even more cushion for Foster over Gold. So Eves the man to watch right now. Can he get to Foster? We'll see. Long way to go. Still not even to the halfway point. 19 laps down, 36 remain. Always great to look at the NTT IndyCar Series grid and figure out how many of those drivers spent some time at this level, running in the Indy Pro 2000 category. Years back, it was called Pro Mazda, and at one point Star Mazda. You go way back into Star Mazda, and you're looking at the Graham Rahals, the Connor Dailies, James Hinchcliffe, all spending time in that Star Mazda category. Pro Mazda, of course, drivers coming up like Rinus VeeKay, Pato O'Ward, Oliver Askew. Drivers then, of course, moving into the Indy Pro 2000 years in 2018 and beyond when the new car came out. Kyle Kirkwood. A lot of great drivers have come through this particular program. All told, in the last 12 years for the Road to Indy, it's O'Ward, DeFrancesco, Herta, Malukas, Harvey. You go down to Kirkwood, VeeKay, Kellett, Rosenquist, all those drivers coming through the Road to Indy in the last decade. It's going to happen for another decade as well because we have some tremendous racers in this program. Number of fights a little bit further back as the leaders now start working their way through the tail of the field. Of course, the spread that we have in terms of being super fast up front, maybe being off just a little bit. It's pretty exaggerated in this particular racetrack when you think about the fact that we're rolling around here in, around 30 seconds. It doesn't take long if you're a second and a half off to get reeled in on the back. And I would assume that leaders are going to lap their way up at least inside the top 10. Fast drivers can do that here at this particular racetrack. De Alba's lead now 3.6 seconds. And tail of the field pushing hard a little further back. De Alba across the line, looking good here. Into turn number 1. There's the gap between first and second. Salvador de Alba, you just look at what he's done throughout the season. Early on, 9th and 15th at St. Petersburg, 15th and 8th at Barber, getting a feel for it. Got that win at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, then was 6th the next day, 16th the day after that. So the consistency hasn't been there. 8th, 4th, 5th, 2nd, 5th. A run, though, for through Lucas Oil Raceway and the Freedom 90 all the way through to Mid-Ohio. Throw out the disaster that was Toronto. And here's a guy that if he comes back to Indy Pro 2000 next year is going to be a championship contender. Does he do that? Does he come back to Indy Pro? Does he try to get himself onto the grid in Indy Lights? We'll see. Talented driver, though, is really starting to step to the forefront here in the second half of the 2022 season. There is 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and there is Eves in 5th. 6th and 7th could be a battle here in a little bit. That is the teammates Reese Gold and Anam Ahmed. Both those drivers have indicated to me that they're going to try to move to the Indy Lights program next year. So if you're an Indy Lights fan and you look what's going on, obviously a couple of teams kind of dominating now with Andretti and the expanding HMD Motorsports. There are new teams coming in, as we know. Cape Motorsport's going to field a couple of cars. Legacy Autosport has picked up a car as well. We'll see who else ends up deciding to come in to pick up a car. But there's a lot of drivers with a ton of interest in moving to Indy Lights. And that's just the drivers in the paddock here right now, not talking about those who would be coming in from Europe as well. Of course, rumors that W Series multi-time champion Jamie Chadwick looking at Indy Lights as well. So a lot of great things happening. And I think the continued success and growth of the NTT IndyCar Series obviously helping out in terms of the interest in the road to Indy as well. Of course, we just started our USF Juniors program this year. A brand new car coming in next year, the Tatis JR23 with a halo. It'll be a detuned USF 2000 engine. That's going to be a place where drivers can come in out of karting, out of school series, and move their way in, like the Lucas Oil School of Racing, move their way into USF Juniors, and then get in part of the road to Indy culture, really be dialed in, set to go for USF 2000. The ladder right now, the pool of drivers aiming towards IndyCar is fantastic. And again, I can tell you from my time at all the top national karting events around North America, there is a ton of talent in karting as well. It's fantastic what we've got coming up through the ranks right now, the system. 27 laps in, just coming to the halfway point here right now. Tire deck's going to start to come to a play a little bit, but of course cars getting lighter as well, a little more nimble. There's that big run out of turn number 2. Drivers really rolling that corner, trying to get back into it. I like that. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, line them up. They're less than a second apart right now. Siegel, Green, and Foster. And Louis Foster sitting back there in 4th spot saying, okay, what do I do here? I'm leading the points. I do not need a DNF. Do I need to get up and fight? Do I hold where I am right now? You can be guaranteed that Exclusive Autosport team owner Michael Duncalf and engineer John Hayes sat down to discuss strategy. Here's what we need to do. And there's a wiggle there. Pick that up. Siegel having to chase that car up the racetrack coming through 3 and 4. I don't think the D-Force car is perfect right now for Siegel. It's a handful. If you remember, about 15 laps ago, he had a pretty big moment in turn number 2. Just had another one up in 3, and I think that's why we're seeing Josh Green reel him in. A little higher on the racetrack for Green, trying to pick some air up over the front wing to get the downforce he needs. You do get some aero wash in these cars mid-corner. That's what happens when you lose the air flowing over the front of the front wing and the rear wing, which gives you all that downforce. The minute you get up behind a car and he's punching that hole through you, the air going up over top of the car as opposed to over the wings, that wing isn't able to do its job, and you lose all that front grip on the car, and then it just wants to slide, wants to push up the racetrack, understeer up the racetrack. Yeah, you can see Josh continues to go to the high side, takes care of the tires a bit. When you do that too, when you have that understeer, that aero push really, really punishes the front tires. You'll always see drivers tuck it, even one side of the wing down a bit lower into the corner, a little bit higher on the outside. Even if you get the air over either side of the wing, it's going to give the car the balance you need. They've got a big gap back to 4th, 5th, and 6th, I believe. No, back from 5th to 6th and 7th, because Braden Eves is closing up. Still the fastest driver on the racetrack, a 139.621 mile per hour lap. Look at Eves, the tail of that front running quartet. That's 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and 5th. De Alba up the road by 4.6 seconds. Here comes Green to the outside. Going to try the top side of the racetrack. If he gets a run out of turn number 3 and 4, he'll get him down the straightaway, side by side. Big punch in the air for Louis Foster as well. Green going to the top side of the racetrack. He's wanting to go Indy Lights Racing next year as well. They're putting a show on here right now. Can Green get it done on the top? Siegel holding the bottom. When you're holding that bottom, it's tough. Louis Foster's going to get a challenge here from Braden Eves pretty soon as well. Siegel goes back down to the bottom. Eves looking to potentially get by Foster, who I don't know would give up that much of a fight, knowing that Gold is further back. Reese Gold and Nolan Siegel are battling for their lives in the championship. It's again Green down the inside to take the spot again. Green goes back down the bottom to take second. Siegel third, Foster fourth, Eves fifth. In reality, Louis Foster not really racing the track, not really racing the leader. He's racing right now against Reese Gold and Nolan Siegel. Because yeah, a win here would be great for Louis Foster. But if he wins the championship in Portland, it's over $600,000. That's the big prize for Louis Foster. Second, third, fourth, and fifth. Good show so far. 20 laps to go. See, working lap number 35. Wow. So Trey Burke and Lindsey Brewer, the two drivers, have gone down a lap so far. Kiko Porto and Bajoy Garg would be next. They're about 10 seconds back, or 10 seconds ahead right now of the leader. 4.8 second advantage for De Alba over Josh Green. And there is still second, third, fourth, and fifth. Here comes Eves. He's going to try to make a move to the outside now of Foster coming into turn number 3. Eves around the top side. Foster holding the bottom of the racetrack. Foster all the way down to the bottom, and Eves is probably going to get a good run. No, it has some trouble mid-corner. And Foster going to hold him down to the bottom. These two drivers scrapping it out here. Eves again tucks behind the gearbox. Big run down into turn number 1 again. Can Eves make the car work on the top side? Foster holding the bottom. Eves will get a good run out of turn number 2. Indeed, he'll make it past, get it done. Eves now goes to P4. Can Braden Eves get the second? What a great drive so far for the driver to New Albany, Ohio, winner here last year. I mentioned he knows how to get around here quickly, and he's been the driver on the move. Eves started 6th, fell back to I think 9th at one point, did not get a good start, but has clawed his way back to P4, and I think he's going to have what it takes to battle both Green and Siegel. I think he's looking for a Jay Howard driver development 1-2. You see the gap between Foster there. We're waiting for the next car. That's Reese Gold. That's how far back they are at this point. Big gap. On the track, it's about 7 seconds. Another 6 seconds back to Ahmed. So Gold's all by himself on the racetrack running in 6th position. Josh Green still P3. Came into the race sitting 5th in points. Second for Green puts him 264 points. He would be 80 points behind Foster, so still a mathematical chance going to Portland. Foster dropping down now to what, 5th position, so that's going to put him at 341 points. Still a fantastic lead going to Portland. Foster all by himself P5 right now, and I would bet he'll be content to run P5 and maybe kind of sit back and wait to see whether or not the chaos is going to happen between Green, Siegel, and Eves, because Braden Eves is going to go for it here. He's out of the championship fight, back in 6th position right now, so Eves will do whatever he can to get himself up front. He's got to start, showing these guys what he's able to do. We know that he can wheel a car around. Won here last year, former USF 2000 champion. He's won on multiple circuits here on the Road to Indies, presented by Cooper Tires. All about opportunity. Of course, we talk about the big wreck that he had at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, getting upside down. Pretty significant injury, but was able to come back with Exclusive Autosport again in 2021. They're going to go by the inside of Trey Burke now. Trey on the bottom side of the racetrack. He's trying to leverage him the best he can to get a draft coming down the front straightaway as he's closing up now here on Nolan Siegel. Eves and Siegel, I believe, actually teammates at one point at Newman Walks Racing back in the day. A one-off, I think, for Eves for Newman Walks at Portland. Memory serves me correct. This race again, 55 laps or 35 minutes. We're doing fine here right now, 23 minutes on the clock. 13 laps to go. 13 remaining. Here's your rundown. It's a battle continuing. A lot of scrapping going on here for second. We're going to see this fight for Green and Siegel to go down to the wire, I believe. You can see the Siegel's not giving up at all. They're coming down the back chute. Louis Foster not giving up either. So Salvador de Alba leads by 5.1 seconds. Josh Green runs second. Siegel in third. Eves and Foster run in the top 5. All alone by himself is Reese Gold. 7.5 seconds ahead of him. Second, 7.5 seconds behind him. So Gold all by himself on the racetrack. Marcos Flack, though, putting some pressure here on Anam Ahmed. Flack has been so impressive here. The debut in the Road Indy. He's a GB3 racer, runs in a lot of those cool, tight, club kind of circuits over in that GB3 program. Brands Hatch, Angsley, Olton Park, some tremendous tracks over there that really keep you, on your toes. Then we throw him here onto a bad, fast 150-mile-an-hour oval and say, here, try this Indy Pro 2000 car. And he has really performed. I have been impressed with Flack. And I'm looking forward to what we see him do at Portland, which will be a track, I think, more indicative of the skill set he has and what he's been able to develop since moving from Australia to do all his racing over in Europe. Sooner Murley right there as well in 9th. Bajoy Garg in 10th. 11th, Kiko Porto. Then a couple laps back are Burke and Brewer. Kiko Porto next up on the hit list for Salvador de Alba, I believe, to try to get by. I think maybe Salvador may have already got by them. Here's the side-by-side action down into turn. Oh, there's a big wiggle, big slide there for Green. Big handful of race cars. Siegel back to P2. Nolan Siegel goes around the outside, and here comes Braden Eves. Wow. That was all about Siegel not giving up. Went back to the high side of the racetrack. Eves totally going to school right now. He's trying to figure out who's quick where. Where have I got to go? If you pin Green to the bottom, is that car going to get loose on him in the bottom like we saw there? Green now back down to the inside of the racetrack. He'll retake the spot. Siegel holding the top. And you can be guaranteed that right back there, Louis Foster ready to take evasive maneuvers. The one thing you kind of know about the ovals is when you see a spin start to happen in front of you, go to the bottom, because those cars are inevitably going to work their way to the outside of the racetrack. When you try to go to the high side, that's when you get collected. If you see drivers starting to spin, oftentimes they're going to go, 75% of the time, they're going to go to the outside of the racetrack. Here comes Eves. He has arrived on the scene, and Braden's gone to the inside now of Josh Green. This is going to be big for Nolan Siegel, going to get him a little bit of room. Foster right there. So when I said Louis Foster was going to hang out and just bang points, maybe Louis Foster's going to try to get a couple more spots. I probably should come as no surprise. Louis Foster, a very competitive young man. And there's an opportunity to be on the podium for Exclusive Autosport. He'd like to get that done. Braden Eves again going to work to the bottom of Green. You wonder whether or not Green used up the tires a bit. Look at Green chasing that car way up the racetrack, and he's going to have to pedal it. He's going to lose to Eves for sure, very likely to Louis Foster too. That was a tough one for Green. Car got really loose coming into the corner, and he had to chase it up the racetrack. 7 laps to go. Foster's now worked his way up into 4th. Eves now to 3rd. What a tremendous run for Braden Eves, the new Albany, Ohio driver. Champion Carter, multi-time national race winner. Race wins in F4, championship in the Cooper Tires USF 2000 championship, scored the title there. Just a handful of laps remaining for Salvador de Alba, 6.7 seconds. This is one of those races where leaders checked out so much that they don't get the airtime probably they would deserve because they're so far out front. We're watching this epic scrap for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And de Alba, for Jay Howard Driver Development, is flat dominating the action. This is that win, if he gets it to the end, that he deserves. Scored the victory on a technicality, a technical DQ in Indianapolis. Yeah, he has the trophy, but doesn't have that satisfaction of coming across the line under the checkered flag from Aaron Likens. Will that happen today for Salvador de Alba at Jay Howard Driver Development? 51 laps in the books, 4 to go. 4 laps remaining. Bommarito 500 still coming. It's going to be a great afternoon. Indy Lights is going to be lining up here pretty soon as well for their race. We'll see which Road to Indy graduate is going to score that one. Who came from Indy Pro? Who came from USF 2000 to get up there? Will it be McElroy? Maybe Linus Lundqvist. Linus' second year in Indy Lights. I don't know. Hunter McElroy's looked really good all the way through the Road to Indy for McElroy, running for Andretti Autosport. Benjamin Peterson, he's really coming on strong second half of the season as well. How many of those guys will be going IndyCar racing next year? It's going to be exciting. I'm hearing a number of them could be in the IndyCar program in 2023. When they do that, we know we've done our job. We've developed these drivers both in the car and out of the car. That's our job here at the Road to Indy, prepare the next generation of IndyCar drivers. We look forward to seeing which the next ones will be, because we obviously beam with pride watching drivers like Pato O'Ward, Kyle Kirkwood, Joseph Newgarden, and all these drivers, of course, that have come through the ranks. Colton Herta, of course. 2 laps remaining, 2 to go for Salvador de Alba. 7.1 seconds, and this right here is second, third, and fourth. Braden Eves not done. He's trying to dig in to go to P2 on Siegel. He wants a Jay Howard driver development 1-2. Salvador de Alba, though, is going to get that white flag flying here at start finish. Final lap for de Alba as he's out of turn number 2. He's going to work his way here now down the back straightaway. De Alba, that is right now second and third. Where is Louis Foster? What happened to Louis Foster? He came across the line. He might have checked up a bit. I wouldn't be surprised if he just checked up. No need to fight it out here right now, but ready to come across the line to score the win here. What a drive it's been. What a weekend it's been for the driver out of Mexico for Jay Howard Driver Development. Twin checkers, the victory for Salvador de Alba as he will win his first oval event of the Road to Indy. De Alba is the winner. Siegel comes home in second. Eves third. There's Foster across the line, P4. Did not see him coming through. It scared me a little bit there, but Foster ends up in fourth. Josh Green in fifth. Believe they lapped all the way up to 9th position, or 10th, as Reese Gold ends up in 6th. Anam Ahmed and Marcos Flack nose to tail, 7th and 8th, and Yuvan Sundaramurthy 9th, started 14th. Sundaramurthy ends up in the 9th position. Wow, what a race. Salvador de Alba winning by 5.939 seconds. Nolan Siegel in second. Braden Eves third, Louis Foster in fourth, and Josh Green rounding out the top 5. Time for me to vacate the tower here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. I look forward to being back here again in 2023. I'll hand it over to Jim Childers here momentarily. I got to hop on a golf cart because we got a date with Victory Lane and the winner today in Indy Pro 2000 and the VP Racing Fuels Oval Challenge of St. Louis, Salvador de Alba.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Rob Howden, a fantastic job. I just love hearing you announce, my friend. I love it. I love it. A lot of the guys are out walking around. I'm in the booth taking notes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the racing continues here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Rob is on his way down to Victory Lane. Coming up at 3:20 will be the Indy Lights race. That will be 75 laps of racing. That'll be coming up at 20 minutes after 3. Yeah, it's not far away. About 25 minutes from now. So Rob will be back up for that as well. So anyway, we want you to enjoy yourself. Also, too, ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind everyone about the 50-50. 50-50. All the proceeds are going to the Eastern Kentucky Relief Fund. You know, I know you've heard the news and everything, but
It's your Uncle Cooper. Sure, once in a blue moon, you might need your tires for hauling a horse in a hailstorm. But most days, you're gonna need your tires for tougher things, like teaching your sister's kid how to parallel park. Thankfully, these Cooper and Duramaxes aren't just tough, they're everyday tough. Okay, there's a lot of improvement. Go with the Coopers. Cooper.
Karting and motorsport enthusiasts, Lucas Oil School of Racing is America's #1 Formula Car race school. Enjoy modern paddle shifters, pit speed limiter, and onboard video along with integrated data systems. Get started today with our 2-day basic or advanced course. Lucas Oil School of Racing is the official school of the Road to Indy. We can also qualify you for your SCCA license. Get started today by visiting us at www.lucasraceschool.com.
It's your Uncle Cooper. Your SUV is a multi-purpose tool, like a corkscrew fish scaler. And that means your tires should be multi-purpose too. Like these Cooper rugged Treks. They're tough, but also run smooth as butter. And with dual sidewalls, it's like having a multi-tool that can look like a completely different multi-tool. Don't take that idea, by the way. I'm gonna patent it. Go with the Coopers. Cooper.
With over 40 years in business, High Tide Boat Lifts is committed to elevating your craft. Whether you own a personal watercraft or a large yacht, we can design and create the perfect lift for your needs. At High Tide Boat Lifts, we understand that you've worked hard to get to a successful place in life. We'll ensure you have a hassle-free experience, maximizing the time you spend on your boat with family and friends, and supporting your dreams out on the open water.
It's your Uncle Cooper. Sure, once in a blue moon, you might need your tires for hauling a horse in a hailstorm. But most days, you're gonna need your tires for tougher things, like teaching your sister's kid how to parallel park. Thankfully, these Cooper and Duramaxes aren't just tough, they're everyday tough. Okay, there's a lot of improvement. Go with the Coopers. Cooper.
Karting and motorsport enthusiasts, Lucas Oil School of Racing is America's #1 Formula Car race school. Enjoy modern paddle shifters, pit speed limiter, and onboard video along with integrated data systems. Get started today with our 2-day basic or advanced course. Lucas Oil School of Racing is the official school of the Road to Indy. We can also qualify you for your SCCA license. Get started today by visiting us at www.lucasraceschool.com.
It's your Uncle Cooper. Your SUV is a multi-purpose tool, like a corkscrew fish scaler. And that means your tires should be multi-purpose too. Like these Cooper rugged Treks. They're tough, but also run smooth as butter. And with dual sidewalls, it's like having a multi-tool that can look like a completely different multi-tool. Don't take that idea, by the way. I'm gonna patent it. Go with the Coopers. Cooper.
With over 40 years in business, High Tide Boat Lifts is committed to elevating your craft. Whether you own a personal watercraft or a large yacht, we can design and create the perfect lift for your needs. At High Tide Boat Lifts, we understand that you've worked hard to get to a successful place in life. We'll ensure you have a hassle-free experience, maximizing the time you spend on your boat with family and friends, and supporting your dreams out on the open water.
Go down here on Victory Lane. Obviously, we have the drivers in the Indy Lights program getting set to roll, so we're going to run right into our podium presentations for the VP Racing Fuels Oval Challenge of St. Louis. Our guests of VP are going to help us pass out some awards. Let's start with the driver coming home in third. A great drive fighting his way onto the podium for Jay Howard driver. P3 goes to Braden Eves. And to bring Braden his third place trophy, one of our guests from VP, Dan Rodemeyer. Thank you, Dan. Braden, what a great drive. Braden fighting his way from, I think, 8th at one point, scrapped his way back up, made some fantastic passes to work his way up there. The fight for second spot was aggressive throughout that entire race, and this guy fell back to third but scrapped his way back, going low side, going high side. For D-Force Racing, finishing in second today, Nolan Siegel. Excellent job for Nolan. And to present him with his second place trophy, Dan Dunstan. Dan will come on up here and give another trophy to Nolan. A couple of wins on the season for Nolan Siegel already. What a great run here today, though, as he was high side, low side. It was a wild battle. If you're in the grandstands, if you're joining us down here in Victory Lane, we always love to give a huge round of applause for a driver getting his first ever Road to Indy victory on the track. He won one, finished second on the track. This is literally the one where he came across the line as the winner. Folks from Mexico, tremendous driver for Jay Howard Driver Development. His first win here on track, Salvador de Alba. Salvador, let's have a quick chat first, man. How big is it to get this victory? You dominated today.
Yeah, it was a pretty good weekend. We were on top of the board on the true practice and quali, and the race. The car was literally on rails. I am very pleased to have all my team back on me. Carlos, who was engineering the car, Bren, all the guys on the car. It was so happy to be here. Michelle, my spotter, and the guy who is making this possible. Thanks a lot. Well, it's a lot of names I can describe, but the feeling is amazing.
Amazing season for you. You've been getting better and better throughout the season, more comfortable with the race car. Are you ready to go to Portland and cap off this season in style?
Yeah, another new track for me, and hopefully it would stay good. And well, thanks for all my sponsors to make this possible, and let's keep fighting.
Well done. Let's bring that first place trophy up here right now for Salvador de Alba. A big victory for him. Carter Dunstan providing us with the P1 trophy for de Alba. Again, we talked about his story coming from NASCAR Mexico and winning the Super Copa program down there, and those heavy, big tin-top stock cars jumping into a nimble Indy Pro 2000. And he has been what I would say my most improved driver throughout the season. He has got a good grip of this race car and stepped things up in a big way. And it's really, before the trouble that he had at Toronto, he was absolutely amazing with a run of top 5 finishes and top 6 finishes just right there. But to be able to win here on the oval at Worldwide Technology Raceway, it is not an easy thing. Braden Eves won last year, deeper in the field. A show he put on coming back through, caught up to that lead 2-3-4 battle and was able to go through to get P3. Nolan Siegel looked like he was going to end up in third, but no way. He wasn't done at all. He fought back and went to P2, high side, low side. And I'll say this right now, we never talk about it during the race. We do it at the end. 55 green flag laps, no issues. And I also like always seeing the parents down here high-fiving each other because they were holding their breath for all 55 laps, the Greens and the Siegel. the Siegel family down here chatting. It is tough to watch your son or daughter out there hanging it out like they are around this racetrack, 1.25 miles. Good to see the parents that they're happy with each other. They did good. That was good side-by-side racing. And a big, big thank you to everybody from VP Racing Fuels for being part of the action here this weekend. As I had said off the top, VP Racing Fuels is obviously synonymous with motorsports, high-performance cars, and whatever it may be, but you're going to start seeing the VP logo on your city streets. We've got some gas stations coming, VP gas stations coming to the local region here, so keep an eye out for that. You can take your love of motorsports and translate it into your passenger car or truck. And again, we're thrilled to have VP Racing as a huge partner of the Road to Indy and Anderson Promotions. Indy Lights drivers, as we said, getting set to go. The very top rung of the Road to Indy, presented by Cooper Tires, about set to go. Got the good folks from the Bommarito Automotive Group coming to join us up here on the podium as well. You know, always a pleasure to have John Bommarito and his crew here with us, and, you know, to see what they've done as well with our three-time champion and graduate Kyle Kirkwood, putting the Bommarito Automotive Group on the side of his AJ Foyt number 14 Indy car. That's why we love coming here. The funny thing is we don't even see the Bommarito crew just here at Worldwide Technology Raceway either. I think I started the season off at St. Petersburg, seeing John and Chuck and the crew. So always tremendous to have the good folks from Bommarito here with us.